if you're proficient in reading by 4th grade, you are 4 times as likely to graduate from high school than the child who's not proficient in 4th grade. The one thing we finally ended in the last 5 years, conservative think tanks, liberal think tanks, moderate think tanks, everybody acknowledges that early education is the most critical point, the most critical moment in the long-term future of a child in this country or any country. Falling behind in elementary school can have a significant impact on academic success and all other forms of success down the line. It's like denying kids healthy nutrition and exercise when they're young. All you mothers know that. It's more important what you feed your child from the moment they're born until they are 10 years old than anything you feed them from age 16 on, by a factor of God knows how much. If your diet's bad when you're young, your brain literally does not develop properly. That's why 93% of the kids in this district are on a food program. We finally figured that out about 15 years ago. Without a diet, you literally cannot develop the brain to absorb the knowledge. Whether a kid gets nourished in early life affects their ability to learn, communicate, think, analytically, socialize, adapt to their environments. So I'm here at Goode Elementary School as a result of the cuts the district had to make this year at Goode Elementary. It has 11 fewer caring adults supporting children in a classroom every day. And that cut is nearly a quarter of their teaching staff. Now this is not a criticism of the city. It's not a criticism of local officials. They had no choice. They had no choice. But the impact on the future of our kids is not able to be calculated. Right now, our children are paying the price for this recession more than any other group of Americans. And that's simply unacceptable because we can do something about it. And that's what we do. That's where the President and I are going all across the country. People say we're campaigning. We sure in heck are campaigning. We're campaigning to change this environment. Change this environment. The vast majority of our mainstream Republican friends agree with us on this stuff. But they can't get it by their team. This is not your father's Republican Party. This is a different deal. So only we finally decided, if they're trying to negotiate all this, is to go over the heads of people. Go to the constituents. So they can then pick up the phone and call their representatives. If you don't agree with this, don't call your rep. Or call them and say, don't vote for this. But if you agree, and this isn't politics. This is politics 101 in the sense that we're trying to get something done. The President said it best. We have 13 more months to argue politics. But in 13 months, tens of millions of people will have their lives altered. Millions of children will be affected. We don't have time to wait for that for 13 months. And so look, this legislation we're pushing will provide Pennsylvania alone with $1,150 million in funds to support 14,400 education jobs y'all lost. That would make up for the 14,000 jobs the Pennsylvania Association of School Administrators estimates that were cut this year in Pennsylvania alone. We owe this to our kids. Look, as I said before, the super knows this better than I do, and our principal knows this. And all you parents who are here know this. 90% of the students here qualify for a free or reduced lunch. But even with those obstacles, y'all are doing incredibly well here. Think about the progress. Last year, before these cuts, the kids in this school made real progress. 8.7% more kids were proficient in reading last year than the year before. Math proficiency was up by 13%. You got it going. Time, your school district, with all the problems it has, your school district had 3 schools meet their annual yearly progress. And just as you're getting up and starting to run, all of a sudden these budget cuts drop on you. And I believe, hope I'm wrong, but I suspect it put all of that in jeopardy. As a consequence of those cuts, the school districts had to make programmatic changes, resulting in the loss of 229 positions district-wide, 88 teaching positions. As part of those cuts, 219 people lost their jobs, and the district lost more than 20% of its teaching staff, district-wide. This means bigger class sizes. By the way, the reason I was late, and you would be too, I couldn't pass those kids. These kids, and the press was in there. And although I shouldn't engage the press, but they were so bright, they were so energetic. They liked what they were doing, so I mean, it's like infectious. I got 5 grandkids, it's just, there's nothing like it. And they want to ask you, and the questions they ask, and so polite. Mr. Vice President, I have a question for you, sir. What does your dog like to eat? Do you have pets? What's it like being vice president? What do you do? 4th graders. So I told them all. Not one of those kids in there. Barack Obama, Joe Biden, no one had anything in any of those kids in 4th grade, for real. In 4th grade, think about it. This is the time, guys. And I told them. I think I may have embarrassed them, but maybe I didn't plan on telling them. When I was in 4th grade, I talked like this. I stuttered so badly, I was afraid to raise my hand. And had I not had teachers who would say to me, Joey, you're really smart. You're really smart. You can do this. Probably be doing something a lot different. These kids are incredible. The class sizes have ballooned, going from an average size in the 4th grade of 22 to 29. It makes a difference, folks. In 2nd grade, they're up from 20 to 27. I saw the classroom I just visited last year. Mrs. Keyball had 22 students. This year she has 30. She's an incredible teacher from everything I heard. We try to do background stuff before we get here and try to figure it out. The National Bureau of Economic Research just released a study showing that small class sizes in early primary years not only produce short-term gains in student achievement, but they also increase the odds that a child will graduate and attend college, and as well as study STEM subjects. The STEM subjects, science, technology, engineering, math, something we all know. In order to compete in the world and remain #1, we have to get so much better at it. But it's not just the class sizes affected. Here at Goode and at all elementary schools in the district, there's no longer a music teacher, no gym teacher, no art teacher. Your teachers are making up for it. Your teachers are doing who aren't the gym teachers, aren't the art teachers, aren't the music teachers. They're trying to make up for it. Other general classroom teachers are doing their best to incorporate these critical subjects into the coursework. We all know it's not the same. And at high school, they had to eliminate programs like arts, computer science, support for English language learners, and those having trouble reading. If you're going to pick things you did not want to cut, I just listed 4 of them.